Uh, so there's one thing that would always come up to you, and that is, let's say, your people would come, your sales rep and the people and the users in the Salesforce would come up and say, "Hey, I have this record and someone has changed the record. I do not know who changed this record and I just saved it." So there's one thing called as field tracking. Okay. So if you could have important fields on the tracking, you can track that if anyone's made the changes, you can always get back to them and let them know, hey, this is the change that has been made on this day, and this is being made by this user. Okay. Uh, to activate that, what you'll have to do is you'll have to go to the setup. You'll have to go to the individual objects. Here, in case I'm going to the account, and in the accounts and fields and relationships, you will see set history tracking. Over here, you can choose up to 20 fields. Okay. As of now, I click on account source. Okay. And let's say I'll click on maybe industry as well, whatever fields you feel like, okay, these are important, mostly the revenue and all these fields, and click on save. So now, if I go to a record, let's say this record, and if you could remember, I added the industry field. Over here, if you could see, the industry is, as of now, it's apparel, right? And let's say I made the changes, or if anyone is making the changes who have the access to the record, I'll change it to the banking and save the record. So what will happen if you go to the related, where you have added this account history as a tab, and click on view all, it says that at 8:03 p.m. right now, this field has been changed by this user. This was the original value and this is the new value. Okay. So somehow you can trace that user. Okay, changes have been made by this user at this time. So you can let your user know, but it will only happen if you could activate the field tracking. And also with the field tracking, it should this component account history should be in your page layout. Okay, so then you would be and you have to do it for all the objects, whatever you feel like on opportunity leads and everything. Okay, that you'll have to do it. Again, so this is one of the things that I missed in how you can keep the checks on records. Okay, how you can check on the data and everything. The next thing is activity, task, and events. So what is an activity, what is a task, what is an event? We'll learn it over here. So basically, activity is the main type, and it has two subtypes. One is the task, and other is the events. Okay, so why do you use a task is basically let's say that as per the name says, right, you are configuring something, some actions to it, and then you will have to have some timelines to work on that particular task. So let's say for this account, right, if you see on your right hand side in the activity tab, you have this feature which is new task. Okay, you can create a new task for this. You can add a call. You can actually call the people from this if you want to log a call, and what are the comments, right, which contact you have contacted for this account, you can put it up over here. Okay, over from here itself you can create a new event for, let's say, you are meeting the people from this company for an event or something like this. You can create a new event and you can put the details over here. Okay, and also here you can send up an email. So it is I'll have to give two. So for now, let's say I'll take their website name, put it over here, and then I'll put it up. Okay, and then what I'll do is, this is to check on the yearly data, maybe something like this. and you can put up it over here and click on send. So now it says that we could not send your email. Why? Because I have not integrated, as of now, I have not set up some conditions of the email. That's why it is not letting me to send up it. As of now, let me see if I can send it to. That was a website. So if you see on your other side, there's one activity that has been captured, and if you click on hover on this, you'll see this. Okay, I've sent a no subject email, and if you click on this, it will show you the email that you have sent. It will take some time. Okay, so this is the email that has been sent up. Okay, if I go back again to that activity feed where I could create any task, so I could give this a new lead coming in. Okay, and this is for my agents, right? So new lead would be due by 30th, and then I can search for the contact, which contact I'll have to assign it to. I do it for David, and then this is related to this org. You can assign it to anyone. I want to assign it to the David Frost. So basically your name is your lead and contacts, and related to is your accounts. So which task is related to this account, so this will come up, and then you can put it up. It's not started or whatever be it, right? And click on save. So now once I created this task for David Frost and David Milan, right, they would get the notifications of it, that you have a new task coming up, and these are the details to it. Okay, so this is how you can create the task in the activity timeline. Over here as well, there's one event icon where you can create the events, or you can create the events directly from the calendar as well. So if I go to calendar, if I go to the calendar over here, let's say for today, right, at 9 p.m., if I click over here, it will ask me uh, what event you want to create. Okay, which account you want to relate it, what are the contacts that in, what is the tick, what is the location, it is a all day event, and then you can click on save. Okay, so it is to collaborate within the users in Salesforce, so that they can know if something is coming up on their calendars, right? From here you can add others calendars as well, for the people if they have made their calendar open. Okay, if they have any public calendar, it will show up over here. If it is for specific people, let's say for David Frost, right, I've added the David Frost calendar. So if he has something, it will show me in light green. As if now he does not have anything, right? So it is not coming up. But if he has added something, it would show up until unless he has a public calendar. So this is how you can click on new event as well. You can create a lot of events over here. Okay, and those events can be shared across. So if you go back to this account, and we were talking about this activity feed, right? So Salesforce only stores the records on the UI only for 1 year. So for an example, 27 July 2024. If you back on July 2025, 27th of July, here you would be seeing the records. Okay, but if you create a record, if you create a report in Salesforce, you won't be able to see it, because from the backend Salesforce, what it does is it archives. We have a feature of archive in WhatsApp, right? So same way we archive, the Salesforce archives those records which are older than 365 days. Okay, and then if you wanted to see those details in your report, over here it will come up on the UI. It will come up, but it is not possible to go to every UI and check, right, all the details. That's why we created reports to see a unified data at one place, but then that data is not coming up, and the reason is What is not coming up? Because it is more than 365 days. So it's been already archived into Salesforce. So we'll have to request Salesforce support team to increase the archive days to 3 years or 5 years with a business justification. So this is one thing that you will see uh, later on when you work on the things. But on your UI, it will always come. Okay. So this is your task and events, and here as well you can do chatter, right? You can post a question, right? Is this the right account to go ahead? You can put the chatter, right, and share. So all the folks who has the access to this record can like this, can comment on it. Okay, whatever they wanted to have it. You can create a poll as well, like is account legit. You can say yes, you can say no, and you can click on ask. So the people who has access to this can come and put poll over here as well. Okay, they can, based on the record, cannot vote because I am the one who created it. But if you have the access to that, you will come up over here. You would be able to see. Okay, and then I can view results. Also, you can ask the question as well uh, over here. Okay, and then people would be able to see it. So this is the collaboration with the internal people, so that they would be able to see that what on this account they can at mention each other, and they can post. If I see, if I click on this, and if I want to notify, let's say David, right? I'll I'll post for David. Hey, this seems a fake account. Could you check? I can at mention, and he'll get a notification that okay, he has at mention over here, and then he'll get the notification over here in the notification bar that okay, Umar has asked me to do and check on this. So this is a collaboration. This is called as chatter, right? This is just like how do you do the chatting and everything. There's a lot more to it. You can create that internal chatter groups, external chatter groups, and everything in place. Okay. Let me know if I'm audible. Aisha, Faria, anyone? Yeah, thank you so much. So this one thing that I have left and I couldn't tell you guys, the concept of public groups and queues. Okay, so these two are almost identical. Okay, like both are the group of users. Even the queue is also a group of users, and public group is also a group of users. But then we create these public groups if we wanted to have access or them to share a specific set of a record. So if I click on public group, and if I click a new, I'll name them as training batch 1, and I am searching for the users, and let's say I've added these three folks into the training batch 1. Okay, and then I click on save. So now, if I have to ever use these three persons that I've added to share the report with them, to share any record with them, or in the sharing rules, if you could remember, right, there's an option to share the record with the. So that's how it is created to share the records within the within those set of users. The only thing is they are not the owner of the records. They are just being shared a set of records or a set of reports. If you go over here and if you click on queue, you will find that okay, if I click on new over here, it will ask what is the label. I'll say training batch. For an example, I'll put as 2 over here, and then it will ask me whether you have a specific queue. This is something called as DL. Okay, DL as if like once then if you see in your Outlook or somewhere what we use, right? Or if you come, if your college company ID, you get a mail from admin or something. So there are a lot of people in that particular DL. So sometimes there's a queue email, and all the people who are included in that queue email would get this email. So I do not have to specify each one's email each time. Like my ABCD, for I'll give a generic email as uh, admin team something like this, and at the rate salesforce.com, and I'll add this to you all the users, and this would be your key email. Then it will ask which object do you want to create this queue. For an example, I wanted to have it on the lead. Okay. And then it will ask you whether you wanted to assign it to a public group, the roles and the users. If I click on public group, it will show me the training batch over here, which I've already created. So what this does is, we create the queues to make the users owner of the records, and based on those queues they can work on the action. So I'll give you an example. Basically, why we use it, we use it because we have some case assignment rules or the lead assignment rules. So whenever cases are like tickets, so you have food delivery apps in Pakistan, right? Ordered something, and then let's say you're waiting for your order, or you're waiting for your Uber, right? And then they are not coming up. Then you go to the support agent. Okay. And when you go to the support agent, there could be any support agent which is available online and working on your request. Let's say you have ended the chat after 5 or 10 minutes. Again, if you open the chat, it won't be the same user, it won't be the same service agent that was working with you, because they have enabled a round robin mechanism where the tickets come in and the agents get assigned to it. So if I assign this particular training batch to queue to this particular users, okay, and click on save, and then I create some lead assignment rule or maybe case assignment rule, where it will say that all the leads which are generating from the country Pakistan should go to this queue, training batch 2. Okay. So what will happen, whenever I create the whenever I create the lead with the when and the lead assignment rules are matching up, it will get assigned to this queue. And from this queue, if we have, like, let's say 3%, so person A, David, would get the first request. Then second, I would get the second request, and then third would be given to the third person. So this is how a round robin queue works. So basically, all the people are the owner of the records, and this is basically when you wanted to share the workload within the company. Let's say you are 5 developers working for the same, so they have created a queue. So based on that queue, you will get the Jira tickets assigned to you. Okay. uh, I hope this was you would be able to understood the difference between the queues and the public groups. More or less they are the same, but they have some different functionality to work upon. Any questions, folks? I know we are out of time, but we started late. I have to cover this up. So the last session would be on your reports and dashboard that I would be taking most probably on the next weekend, and then we would be wrapping up this series. Uh, I would like to know if you went through the last, the most important session that was on security settings. Were you able to go through the YouTube series that I've recommended? Is what were you able to create the sharing settings and the rules? Uh, any questions on the same? I know that if you're not, can you add our emails to object? Can you add our emails in object and send us email? Which object? Which object you want to add the emails? You do not add emails to the objects, Nabil. Basically, okay. Uh, Can you clarify your question once again? Because what I did, I just created one queue. That was it. But I have not assigned that queue to something else. To elaborate that, what would happen is, for an example, let's say I you for practicing few emails that you can do it on yourself, but that won't come up like this. Just for an example, the queue email that I showed you over here, it is a one single email. It is not a set of emails. Okay, and to trigger that, you'll have to have the assignment rules. It won't trigger it automatically. An email is not triggered automatically. You'll have to have something in place. Okay. See, the email address can be for an individual or a distribution list, that is called as DL. Okay. When an object is assigned to a queue, only the queue members will be notified. So when they say an object is notified, it is like uh, you have to have some action. Just for an example, uh, what you can do is you can go ahead, create a queue, and in that queue make the two users, and then click on queue assignments. Okay, once you click on queue assignment, you would be able to create some assignment rules for your particular object. Let's say, if you see over here, I'll show you the lead assignment rules. See the lead assignment. Okay, this is a standard one. If I click on new rule 2, I make it as active, and then I'll have to go to this rule, click on edit. I'll have to give the rule entries. Okay, and then over here, if I select the queue, and then I'll have to search for your queue, the queue that we have just made, training batch 2. Okay, and then we'll have to give the email template. What would be the content of the email? Okay, let's see this. If lead company equals, let's give this as Salesforce. Okay, then it will get assigned to this. And what would be the lead template? So these are uh, 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 we'll have to create a lead template as well. The content would be coming up in that way. Okay, just for an example, just for your query, I'm using this particular email over there. Okay, and in the training batch 2, we haven't created your user, so it won't come up to you, but it would come up to the people who are in training batch 2. So that's how, once you create any record with the lead company, with Salesforce as the value, and you have your own queue where you have put the members in, and you have an email template. Okay, once you do this, click on save, create any record where the lead company is equal to Salesforce. You would see that the email is getting triggered to you and to the other folks. Did you get that, Nabil? Okay, so this is basically used in companies where we use case management and the lead management. Okay, where the leads are coming to assign to the different prospect salespersons, and then when the case is coming up, it is assigned to different support engineers, so they work on those particular support cases. Just that not everyone should get their fair amount of cases. They implement the robin mechanism as well into it. Okay, so that you can see the records, and so that you can get assigned to that record. The workload is being shared with the set of people, and they work on the query. Okay, guys, that's a wrap. You do not have any questions from the previous session. That is one of the most important thing when you work as a system admin. You should be knowing who has the access of the records, why they are seeing the records, and it will come up gradually. It won't come up when one day. Even people with 1 year or 2 years of experience are not able to even justify why this particular record is being visible to a user, right? So it will take time, but if you have any queries on that security part, because it is the most asked thing in your interviews, let me know. I'll be wrapping the session. Thank you, Rimsha, staying back so long. You can stop the recording, and thank you, guys.